guys, I'm Regan.
And I'm Bailey.
And this is our YouTube channel.
Woo! Today we're going to be doing a movie review over the movie Split. And some of the actors, we just want to give a little bit of information. I just hit myself in the face. But over the movie first before we start the review. And the three main actors in this movie are James McAvoy.
And he's the main character.
And he plays Kevin / all the multiple personality disorder.
He has DID, which is dissociative identity disorder.
Yeah, and he also stars in X-Men, which I love, so I'm so excited to see him.
And he did a really good job. He played the hell out of this character.
Yeah, he did. He was good.
And then we have Anya Taylor-Joy. She was the female protagonist, well, she was the only protagonist. She was also in Vampire Academy, which I saw. I hated the movie, but she was in it. And she played Cassie Cook.
And the third person that we're going to mention is Betty Buckley, who plays Dr. Fletcher, who also works with Kevin. And then she's also in the very first Carrie movie, and I don't know who she plays next. I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've never seen it, but I've heard a lot of good things about Carrie.
So she was in that.
And then just an honorable mention to the two other random girls that were also in it. It's Haley Lou Richardson, and she played Claire. And then it's Jessica Sulu, and she played, what did I say her name? Marcia. Whatever.
One of those.
She was it, yeah. And so those are like the five main actors. Like,
yeah, basically at least five actors. Like,
yeah, there was like
not very many other people.
Yeah, there were extras, but they didn't really speak that much.
And then the next thing we're going to talk about is the producer, who was M. Night Shyamalan.
What's his name?
M. Night Shyamalan. He's actually a pretty well-known producer. And he did things like The Village and
Avatar.
The Last Airbender, which was unfortunate because it was not too good.
It was awful, and I loved the TV show.
Yeah, the TV show
was so
awesome.
good.
Like, praise. I watched it just recently again because I love it so much.
Okay, I didn't do that, but I definitely remember watching it years ago and loving it. In the movie, I was like, I was disappointed. It's a psychological horror movie. It talks about the main character has a psychological illness.
Yeah, dissociative identity disorder.
And it's kind of about his journey, and it's a horror because he's crazy, which you can tell from the trailer. He's not
crazy.
Yeah, not that people with psychological illnesses are crazy, because they're not, but he is crazy.
I actually really liked how they played it off, and they didn't make him seem crazy to me. Like, I thought that he seemed really put together. Each of his personalities were very put together. They were just completely separate, if that makes sense. Like,
yeah,
we'll go into that later, though.
Yeah.
We're gonna give some ratings over a few things, and then the overall rating based on our opinion.
Yeah, this is just our opinion. We're
not like movie critics.
Yeah, we're not in the industry. We literally have no idea what goes into making a movie. This is
seriously,
our opinion.
like, this is just like what we think.
So for production, which is, this is what I explained it. She wasn't explaining what production is.
Okay, I know y'all know what production is. However, we aren't 100% like what is inclusive in production, so we want to tell you what we think it is. And so what we think production is, you know, how they move the camera, the lighting, the music behind it, all of that kind of stuff. Not the special effects. We're gonna have a different genre for
kind of just how they put everything together.
Like, yeah.
So for production, I gave it an 8. The production was actually, to me, one of the strongest things in the movie, just how everything went together. So I like the production.
For me, I gave it a 7. I also thought it was pretty good. There were a few things that I didn't love.
Like what?
I can't really completely think of anything. I don't know.
Overall, I was not very satisfied.
Overall, I can't pinpoint exactly what it was. I think it was just a little bit more for me, actually. I think I involved the timing thing.
And our next rating is timing, which I was not very satisfied with at all. It was too fast in the end and too slow in the beginning. I gave it a 3.
And I completely agree. I gave it a 5 because I'm a little bit lenient of grading, but it really wasn't spectacular. Yeah, the beginning, like she said, was really, really slow, and the end, it just sped so quickly.
Yeah,
everything happened really, really fast.
And the end was when the most
stuff happened. Obviously, like at the end of every movie, a lot of stuff happens. So it's really
they just didn't give it enough time. I feel like
the beginning was so slow.
Yeah, a lot of the beginning, I'm like, me too. I was seriously trying so hard to stay awake, but then the ending, I'm like, oh, and then it was over.
Yeah. So then the next thing we're gonna talk about is cast.
I particularly like the cast in this. I gave it a 9. James McAvoy played the shit out of this role. playing with DID is very hard because it's kind of like it's not, a very common illness. It's not very well known. But he did a very good job separating each person. And I always knew who I was talking to. I was never like, oh, wait, which one is that? I always knew. So I think he did a good job.
I also gave it a 9.
Really? Yay.
I'm also surprised that you gave it a 9 because when we were leaving the movie, we were talking about how you didn't think he played it as well as he could have.
I don't play it as well as he could have.
And I was defending him because he played it awesome. Like,
I know a lot about DID. Being a psychology major, we just have to learn about it. So I think he could have done a little bit better, but he played it the best I've seen
ever.
It played. Like, I think he did a little bit better, but he doesn't have it. He's not familiar with it.
I thought he played it so well.
And his characters were not very different, like, from each other. There were, like, subtle differences. They were not, like, you have a 2-year-old child.
He did 26 different characters, so it was really, like...
There were subtle differences that he made sure to do.
Or 23.
It
was a lot. It was in the 20s, for sure.
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was 23.
Yeah, and even, there are just sections of it that it just is really, really good. I can't go into it without giving too many spoilers away, but he plays it fantastically. It blows my mind.
And Anya did a good job too. I didn't particularly like her character just because from the very beginning, we did not get along. I thought she was dumb. But Anya played the role she was given very well. Like, I think I was never taken out of the moment with her. She was...
Yeah, and the little kid, cute.
Oh yeah, baby Anya was cute.
Anya, yeah.
She was really
And
cute.
so the next thing we're going to talk about is the concept. How well did we, in going into the movie, how well we thought it was going to be, basically? Did we think it was interesting?
The concept of this movie, again, I like psychology, so I was really excited for this movie. I thought it was going to be really, really good, because the concept is, it's a really good concept, and it's even written well. It's just, maybe there was, a little bit of a disassociation between writing it and producing it, because...
Yeah, I completely agree. I gave it a 9, because I thought the concept was fantastic.
So good.
Some of my dissociative identities do not approve of what
the other ones are doing.
Some of the other ones are doing, and I think that is so interesting.
That was really brilliant.
That was
someone
so
who they didn't all get along because they are their own person.
Yeah. And I loved that, and also just how they made the identities interact.
Yes,
which we
I
can't give away.
Yeah,
They interact very interestingly to me.
They were separate people. They got along, didn't get along as you would expect other people to go.
Yeah, but it goes a little bit more into detail about how they interact and how it is in the mind for them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just really, it was really good. It was a really good idea.
Another one we're gonna do is special effects. I gave it a 5.
And I gave it a 4.
It wasn't done well.
And it's hard for us to explain it without going into too much detail, but there are just certain things, which we'll go into in the spoiler section, that we are not in love with. It just didn't look too great in our opinion.
And it was just kind of unnecessary. Mm-hmm. The whole movie is about the other personality. It's split, and they always talk about how, I think it's 23, the 23rd personality is going to be introduced. I don't think the special effects did the 23rd personality justice.
Should there be a second movie?
I don't think there should be, but the way they did it, I feel like they're going to do a second movie because they have to, but they should have just wrapped it up.
Yeah, and I think this was it would have been better if they were not intending to do a second one, because I think that's one of the reasons.
Yes.
It was so fast in the beginning. The end. And if they would not have done that, I would have liked it a lot better, because I just don't understand the point of a second one. The first one is so interesting. I just don't, it's not like a supernatural thing or anything. It's not like some movie like X-Men that can go on and on. I don't know why you're trying to make it.
And there are not enough characters. It's going to be about him, obviously. I think they made this movie with the second in mind. We were talking about that after the movies.
We were.
That's what made it bad. Is you did this with the intent of making another one instead of just giving this first one your all and completing it. Because even if they went to a second one, they could do it about a different person.
Yeah, they could, but I based on how it ended, I don't think they will.
They're gonna do it about the same main guy, and
also
his story's not interesting.
What really could not? I don't think it's not interesting.
It's not interesting anymore. We saw what happened.
And kind of what is gonna happen in the second one? The same thing in the first one, but with different people.
And it's gonna be extremely. I feel they set up to be extremely predictable. We know pretty much this guy ending the scene pretty well. So we know what he's going to do. And I'm just not a fan of making a second one, but they probably will be.
Yeah,
and we will probably see it, and we will probably review it, and we probably will hate it.
And then the last thing we're going to talk about is our overall total rating. And for me,
I gave it a 7.
I also gave it a 7. So we're pretty like-minded in this movie.
Because it's like everything was good except for the execution.
Yeah, and I agree. Like, the concept was spot on. The casting was amazing. The only thing that didn't work out was like actually like the filming aspect of it, I guess.
Yeah, it's
So
it's this movie has the potential to be an amazing movie,
Yes,
like one of
it
those
did.
like memorable ones that like have a cult like following, but they just kind of dropped the ball, and it's sad because I was really excited about this one.
yeah, I was really sad too because I think it really is like I said earlier, it's such an amazing concept.
And it's kind of bringing light to a mental illness that doesn't get enough attention.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really a little bit sad about it.
But it was still okay. Overall, I would say watch it. It's interesting. It's a good conversation starter, but it's not a movie I would ever watch again.
And I watch almost every movie again, so I'm not gonna lie.
Why watch
I
no
probably
movie ever
won't.
again? Like, that's not a common thing for me. But this one specifically, I won't.
Yeah, I probably won't either because it's too memorable. Like, just like I wouldn't like. No, there's no surprise after you watch it the first time. But I think that's like it's like that with any kind of movie like this. So that's like nothing to the movie.
But I don't regret watching it.
Yeah, you don't regret watching it.
Not at the table.
Sorry.
This is Bailey.
I can't. It's really hard for me not to move. So it's like really hard for me to sit here and.
I kind of still have your YouTuber voice when you're talking to me. It's really hard, guys, for me not to move.
I thought we were not gonna take this out.
Oh.
Yeah, hello. So I am doing my YouTuber voice.
Camera's still on.